and tidy edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello. 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 Happy Thursday. How are you all? Hi, Kirsty. Welcome back. Hi, Justine. Hi, Malin. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Shem. Hi, Blair, Fiona. Hi, Julie, Tiffany. Hi, Lean. Hi, Renee. Hi, Blair. Yeah, right, Blair? I think that it works really good. I had to like scrounge a last little piece to get enough, but I had another one, but it was more in the like saturated, no white background, and I don't want it to show through the shirt, you know what I mean? But we're just gonna finish the facing with it. So this is the ones I sell on my site. I have it in blue and I have it in yellow, and when it's in a small piece, I really like the little bit you get. So yeah. Hi, Sue. Hi, Naomi. How are you all? I'm super excited to sew this. This is so my wheelhouse. This is a very easy project for me to sew. So it's like going into a live stream when I have something completely familiar is like very nice. So I'm gonna go kind of quickly, partly because I actually want to do buttonholes today. I probably won't put the buttons on. Maybe I'll do one, but you know, like someone commented under one of my videos, they're like, I know it's time consuming, but I'd really like it if you would sew buttonholes. Like, how come you don't? They weren't like accusing me of anything. But I do feel like sometimes people think I am hiding that part, that I'm not doing the buttonholes. And honestly, the reason is that this machine doesn't do them. And I think some people think it might, but it can't. It only sews straight. So it's using my home machine. And I don't mind using that machine on camera, but the problem is that my setup isn't great with it. Because you see, look at this. See how the machine head here is sheer to the needle? Where the home machine, there's like 2 inches of head right here blocking your view. So it's just a different setup. So anyway, hi Missy, nice to see you. Hi Sydney. So this is a pretty like simple project for buttons and buttonholes. If I do those, I was thinking about snaps, but I'll do buttons and buttonholes. I don't mind as long as I have buttons. My button selection. Oh, I do have my button box I got out. I have a few options. One of them is a little bit like, you're gonna vote for it and I'm gonna be like, eh, but it's kind of perfect color-wise. But anyway, we're gonna go kind of quick, and I'm gonna completely do this without a serger, completely clean finish. The only spot where that gets tricky is the facing, and that's why I got out some binding. I'm gonna do a Hong Kong finish. So, right, Fiona? It's still a separate machine, Fiona. It's still a separate machine. Hi, Beverly. get the button box. Oh, you're not, this isn't the sexy button box. This is, I already went through my button box, but it's this one. There's not a whole lot, like these would be great, right? The yellow looks pretty good, actually. I would have said this is firmly a yellow until I see it with this, and it works. Like, it literally works. This is more of a grello, you know, kind of with that chartreuse vibe going on. I wish this blue was more of like a gray, because that would have been fun. This color looks good with it, though, doesn't it? Here's this gray. Well, that actually is lighter than I'm thinking. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. Okay, we have some options. My other options were these, which are just really big, but they're pretty cool. Great color. And then these Pigeon Wishes buttons that are all like modeled from the UK. You know, so they're not solid red. My shirt isn't really red. That's like more of an orange and a pink, but it's got the clear bits, right? So I think it could potentially work. So anyway, we have some fun stuff to look at later. So let's get sewing. And if you missed the pattern for this, I drafted it yesterday, and that video is doing really good. So that makes me so happy you guys are somewhat interested in drafting. I have been winding my way with my channel to add is drafting, and it wasn't very well received in the beginning, so I shied away from it, and I still sprinkle it in here and there. I did a lot off camera. It's my first love is pattern drafting, and I've never done it for the home sewing world. I've only ever done it for the garment industry, and it's a little different, you know. So there's tons of people doing it out there for the home sewing world that are awesome. They have very established businesses doing this. There's a lot of really great resources, and I was not that person. Like, I was not that resource. So I feel like I've been trying to figure out my way with what I have to offer in the line of drafting. And some of the fun things I've been doing in the last year or so is I'll do a drafting tutorial, but I make it so that if you don't have a sloper and you have this particular garment, you could use it as a starting point. So I did this with the camisole last year, and I'm like, hey, if you have a t-shirt or a t-shirt pattern, like if you have a sewn t-shirt or you have a t-shirt pattern, this is how we're going to make a camisole. And that went over really good. That's actually one of the very first videos. I saw multiple people sharing the things they made from that. And then I showed how to draft a camp style shirt last year from the button down. I felt like that drafting was a little bit more forced because it was a lot more steps, but I was just trying to pick a shirt that I thought everybody had, and it was the button up. Yesterday, I started from a sloper. I've never done that before, so that's definitely more unique, but I think seeing how you guys interact with the content and what you guys like and what you don't like is really helpful to me to figure it out, because I would love to draft with you. I would love to draft things that you want, and it just be like, hey, sign up for this class. We're going to take our sloper or whatever it is, not even a sloper, and we're going to draft this thing, and you already know how that thing fits, you know. So anyway, that was good. It's very heartening for me. Yeah, okay, so the sleeveless thing. I have a good example. Is this? Yeah. So I'm just wearing my regular button-up shirt, right? So this doesn't have a lift in it. So the way to think of a lift, I think this is a good illustration, is when I lift my arm up, this is acceptable, right? We all live with this, right? But you can see my shirt moves. And when you think about why that is, it's because what we did to this pattern, the lift I added, I'll just explain what a lift is for those of you who didn't see yesterday's stream. But basically, if we thought about removing this seam right here, meaning like we seam ripped the armhole, the lower armhole right here, right? And we lifted my arm up and there was a gap. We filled in that gap with fabric. So now the shirt can stay down here and there's fabric there, right? We kind of added, I hate saying gusset, but like, I feel like that helps visualize what happened there. And so yesterday, if you missed it, I drafted my blouse with a sleeve lift. I always add a sleeve lift to my things. I don't talk about it a lot because some people just aren't really that into them. There's a compromise with them. You end up with a little bit of a wrinkle right here. But this is like, if you won't notice this. Like, you never notice it in my garments, you know. So I showed how to do that with the armhole drop that I added to this, because I took my sloper, dropped the armhole, and then added a sleeve lift, which looks like it counteracted it, but it didn't. And then I showed you how to do it if you aren't dropping your armhole. Like, if you already have a garment and you're like, I love this thing, but I hate how my sleeve looks like it fits really good. Why does my shirt, like, why does it ooch up or get stuck above my boobs or whatever? Men can do this too, by the way. Like, anybody with a chest of any kind can do a sleeve lift. It's great. In fact, I see them touted in a lot of active, well, whatever. I see them kind of marketed sometimes, and I'm like, that's a sleeve lift. Like, they're making it sound like they invented something, but that's all it is. It's basically you're lengthening your underarm without compromising the fit of your upper sleeve. So anyway, I thought that I'd show you that. I felt like that would really kind of, oh, I get it now. So, all right. It doesn't mean that your sleeve is, in other words, it doesn't mean your sleeve is drafted badly if your shirt lifts up a little bit, but it helps you have more mobility, you know, especially if you're picking kids up a lot, like, or picking things up a lot, reaching above your head a lot, and you're just always like, ugh. All right. Anyway. Yeah, that's what I just said, Tiffany. I don't like saying it's a gusset, but it's basically lengthening the underarm. I said gusset just now, but I hate to use that because it's definitely not a gusset. You're only adding it to one piece, where a gusset adds it to both. It adds it to, you know, you're adding a wedge of fabric that's going to straddle both areas, you know, the body of the garment and the sleeve. But the sleeve lift is only added to the sleeve, and you don't change the garment at all to accommodate it. Oh, you are, Terry, that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna piece my binding here together because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need this whole thing. So we're gonna start with just finishing my facing edge here, because I feel like that's a nice way to get our sewing legs under us. And hi, Terry, I forgot to say hi to you. And hi, Nita, how's it going? Oh, good. I'm glad you guys, I'm sorry, I didn't see some of these comments up here. All right. Hello from Tennessee. Blessed today. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, see, the problem with a gusset is you're adding seams as well. People use gussets, but I don't think they realize what's going to happen. The other thing about a gusset is you're adding a flat piece of fabric to a place that probably has some contour, right? Your underarm has a lot of contour there. So if you add the gusset and you add just this flat piece of fabric in there, yes, you've added more room, but you've also introduced another seam. There was one there to begin with, but now you've added a second seam, and you've added an unshaped piece of fabric, depending on which way you go. Like, do you guys want to talk about this a little bit? Because let me just show you one thing about a gusset. I'm gonna get my dry erase board. I really need a big one of these over at my pattern table, so I stop using my pattern paper. Okay, so let's look at two ways a gusset could be added. All right, so here is someone with their arm up, right? So let's say we needed girth. We could add a gusset here, right? So that it is adding in circumference around the body, the arm, and the armhole. This is not going to this is probably going to help a little bit with what I did with my sleeve lift, but it's not the same thing at all, right? So if you wanted to mimic what I'm doing with the sleeve lift using a gusset, it wouldn't look the way you probably would expect it to. It would look more like this, right? So we've added it going this way. We've lengthened this area right here. So now you have this wedge, right? And the wedge is still a diamond shape, right? It's still diamond shaped. It's just wrapping around to the back, right? And starts here and goes around. You wouldn't do that, right, to your sleeve. You see this in activewear, right? They'll even accentuate it by making it contrast, or maybe even in a mesh or a wicking fabric. But you've introduced a whole other seam that you have to manage, and maybe you don't want that bulk. And it's a flat piece, not a contoured piece of fabric. So the sleeve lift, right, is adding this, and it still looks like that, right? It was like this is let's do a before and after. Sorry, if I planned on drawing for you guys, I would probably practice the drawing so it would make more sense. Okay, so we'll do, it didn't get, let's make it the same width. So does that really illustrate it? So this is before and this is after, right? This arm can only go like that many degrees above the shoulder neck, right? But this one is going that much more, so you can lift it up because we've added this fabric right here, but we didn't create a gusset or a seam, and we didn't change our bodice. And the way we can get this in there is that we just pivoted it, and we can use the exact same armhole length. But, you know, when your arm is down, and this is more visible in certain fabrics than other fabrics. When your arm is down, you might see a little bit of wrinkling right there, right? I do it to all my sleeves, almost all my sleeves. Yeah. Almost all my sleeves that I'm drafting, not store-bought. I have done it to store-bought, but not store-bought, but, you know, like home sew patterns. So anyway, so yeah, and then, you know, the sleeve lift, you know, is basically, here's my sleeve, right? Here's my sleeve. We'll trace it off. These are, I just want you all to know, just to promote myself a tiny bit. If you're in my guild and you're a guildie, which is one of the paid tiers, yes, I do that whole thing. We have workshops, and there's 4 a month you get to come to, and you can bring any sewing question you have. And this is why I have this little setup. We do this all the time in there. And it's really awesome. It's really fun. I love it when we have a lot of questions, and I think a lot of people like it too, because you get to listen in and you get to learn stuff. So this is why I have all these props. So when I do the sleeve lift, I'm gonna pivot it like right here. There's a little red, that's my shoulder notch. I pivot it there on the seam line and say we want a 1-inch lift. We're gonna do it above this line right here. And we go boop. There's always a boop. And we do it to the other side, boop. Oops. And then you have your lift. So there's your new cap. And then, you know, for the underarm, you know, you would, if this was your original, you would blend it in like this. I didn't plan on doing a tutorial, but so that you don't change anything down here. You didn't change your sleeve length. And you also get a little bonus of extra fabric here for the bicep thing. Thanks, Shem. I know I don't really promote it enough because I know how it feels. But it is really how I'm able to do these live streams for you guys. So the guild is, thank the guild people. All right. Ooh, don't fall. So anyway, I just thought because I'm wearing this shirt today, I was like, oh, you know, I can actually show like the before after a lift, you know, and then we'll see this when I'm done. Like this is basically my muslin, but it's made from my sloper, so it's going to be pretty darn close. So anyway, all right, so let's sew. Let's sew. And so I'm going to just do my shoulders normal because we don't need to French seam the shoulders. They'll be enclosed in the garment, and then we'll bind this. I love talking about that stuff. I really wish I had more friends to noodle on that kind of stuff because there's so many ways to explain it, and I would like to see other people's content to see how they explain it, but I don't want to take from anybody either. So I never look at how other people talk about that stuff, and that maybe all that's really widespread knowledge, but I just thought I'd share. So all right, we're going to do a Hong Kong finish on this facing. So if you don't want to do that, you can just turn under your edge of your facing and top stitch it down. I would turn in under like a little 1/4 inch. If you don't have a serger, you don't want to get your serger out. Hi, Adina. You could just turn it under and top stitch it down. I do that too because sometimes I don't want the bias and sometimes I don't have bias. But if you use this, pre-wash it, please. Oh, Sydney, how is it? Oh, I'm kind of embarrassed. All right. This bias is actually kind of wide for this, but it was pre-made, so we're going to use it. We could probably zoom in a little today. I have it kind of low brightness too, huh? Let's bring it up a tiny bit and zoom it in. Still in the mailbox. My labels for Sew Expo are arriving today. I even went by the post office so I could show you guys because I designed a label to hand to all my classmates and any guild members that show up. I'll sell them if people want, but really I just got them for my students. And I think they're going to be really cute. They don't even say so-so on them. They have the state flower and the mountain that's famous there. You know, just like a souvenir. I went to Sew Expo and all I got was this lousy label. What base did you choose? It says it on the edge of your fabric. So if you keep like a record of fabric, Sydney, you can just cut that little piece off and it says what base it is and the design and like stuff like that. I think there might even be a date. So I measured this like 3 times. Look at this. I have all this left over. I didn't measure, but I was trying to be, you know, kind of, look at this. This is when the binding, when it gets made, there was a wrinkle in it. There was this little weird jog. Okay, we don't need really a hanging loop in this. I didn't pull that much. I accounted for that, by the way. Oh, this time I used quality woven labels. Shem I know, right? Shem uses someone else that I actually looked into. And the only reason I went with quality was because they had emailed me something recently. And I had said, oh, thanks for the offer. I'm good on labels right now. And they replied. So I was just like, oh, that's nice. They actually replied. And they were so thrilled that I replied. So then I was able to just ask him, hey, if I ordered labels right now, could I have them by this date? Because I'm not expecting anything like, wait, I didn't even need to do that. In fact, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well. I should have, oh, well, whatever. Anyway, you'll go get it. You'll walk up the huge hill. Oops, I don't want to, oh, I forgot to, oh, that's right. My computer updated yesterday. I was like, I thought this was configured. Maybe I should make a label shim that says I went to Sew Expo and all I got was this label, this lousy label. Okay. There we go. All right. Oh, I thought I turned this on. What is happening here? Great. Now we have to sit there. I've got my little button marking supplies over here. I am ready today. I am ready. So I sort of want, we don't have irons in the classes. You shouldn't pull, by the way, when you do this, like Saremy does. We don't have irons in the classroom, so I got hero markers for my seam finish class for everybody. And I've been playing, like every time I make something now, I've been trying to use only the hero marker, and whew, it's not the same. New ironing station since you left. No, I think I had it. Maybe I wasn't ironing last time. I've had it about a year. And I used to use my, you know, my wool mat situation. But when I got this iron, it has the like water. It's a gravity feed iron. So it's got the water in a thing hanging up to the neck, to the right. And so it comes with this little red silicone mat. This is it right here. It comes with this, and there's like a piece of metal in there. Well, guess what? When this gets hot, it slides off. So, yeah, that didn't go well. Let's see, can I even show you the, I don't know if you can, oh, I can't reach the camera. But there's I have a wood table right there, and so I mounted a pole to hold my water bottle. You can buy a stand, but I just mounted it to the table. And this mat was on the table, and my shelf was here with the wool mat, so I was right next to this table ironing, and this had slid off right onto my wooden table over here. So, and it was new, so sometimes I was worried I was going to forget I had not turned off the iron. So yeah, that would have been really catastrophic. I pulled way too much on this binding over here, and I didn't feel like I was pulling, but it's just something I do. We'll have our quirks. Yeah, it's not a good design. The mat is not a solution for holding this iron. So I got my old ironing board out. This is this thing, and it has a cradle for an iron, and that's why I got it out. I made the ironing board cover. I had a cute one, but I had to take that home because that was way too busy on camera. This is just Kona cotton that I am very reckless with. That's why it's so dirty. So with the Hong Kong finish, we're just gonna fold it once. We don't have to fold it twice. We're not binding it. We could even do it, you know, from the right side like this. And I kind of slide it in there, get it really nice. I don't know, Deb. It says you can request them, but I think there's only 2. It's not that there's no irons. It's that there's 2 and there's 30 students. Metal basket on wheels and put my iron and mat. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. So is it like a movable ironing station? You might have any money left for, well, maybe that's good. You just bought, did you take the featherweight class, Sydney? Because you got your new featherweight. And they have that dedicated, like I have a couple dedicated featherweight classes, right? I sort of want to take classes myself. It sounds just kind of relaxing to go and just like do something I don't normally do, you know? And maybe pick something I don't think I'd ever do again. I don't want a new hobby. I just want to be entertained and not have to think about anything except whatever we're doing in front of us. Okay. They already paid for it. That's good. That's good. Wait, where's my... Oh, there it is. Oh, it hangs from the ceiling. Yeah, that's great. My ceilings are so... They're like 12-foot ceilings. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like 12 foot. What's a normal ceiling height? Like 8? Yeah, maybe they're 11 foot. They're really tall. Oh, that'd be cool, Shem, the custom hero marker. Well, I tell you what, this country is lacking hero markers because I bought them all. Okay, so then I'm just gonna stitch in the ditch like right here, right? You can spend a lot of time on the stitching in the ditch part, but I don't. I just stitch it, okay? It won't be perfect. It's a facing. We've already spent more time on this facing than you normally do, right? I'm a fine person to teach a seam finish class, aren't I? You know what I was thinking this morning was that that little top stitch foot I got, remember when I was playing around with it the other day? That might be really good for French seams, especially when my French seams are so narrow today. Like they're 1/2 inch. I only have 1/2 inch allowance, I should say. Oh, that's right. You got the stretchy fabric. That's so cool. The maintenance class, I hope you get a lot out of that. All right. Ooh. Not too shabby, Saremy. Well, it fell off, right? Or it didn't fall off, but it didn't make it close. But, and then on this side, it's just stitched flat. If you want to trim it close, I think that's a great idea. So you don't feel like you have to iron this. So I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. It's on the bias, so it won't unravel. That's one really cool thing about bias cut fabric is that it doesn't fray. I'm sure there's exceptions though. Like if you used bias cut linen, first of all, our thoughts and prayers. Second of all, yes, that might fray a little bit. It might get a little bit like a ratty, thready edge, but not bad. It won't fall apart. I think she's saying sorry because I think you like modern jersey, and she got cotton spandex. I love it. I can't wait to meet some of you. I'm really getting excited about Sew Expo. I'm past the nerves. Now I'm kind of the bring it on phase. That's where I get kind of like, okay, enough fretting. We're ready. And I really am. Like, I'm as ready as I can be without ever doing this, like being at this place and seeing what it's like before, you know, so. You could pre-trim this, but I will say every time I do that, I feel like I'm fighting to catch it, you know? And you could do a nicer job trimming it too than I am. It would not be hard to sew your stuff nicer than I do. I think you guys think my stuff's really well sewn. But I'm going kind of quick. So. Hi, Danny. How's it going? All right. We have our facing ready. Let's do some dartage. And guess what? I pattern matched. Wait, why is this pin just hanging out there? Makes me a little nervous. Does anyone else not like sewing darts? I don't mean not like sewing darts that mean like I never sew anything with darts because I hate them. I mean like every time you do it, you're like, ugh. That's kind of how I feel sometimes. I'm gonna do a somewhat shorter stitch length. I have this particular way I sew this dart so that it fits me better. I put a size 14 needle in today. Ooh, I feel like I could have gotten that a little closer, but oh well. I mean, I'm not like talking about starting a company that's never going to draft a pattern without darts. We will not mention any names. I think I know which company that is now because for a while there I kind of forgot. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to line up this pin right here. That's what I'm doing. It's a big dart. It's kind of long. Let's get some of this stuff out of my way. My thread is caught on my pin cushion. That's what's happening there. Okay. You won't sew a pattern with that. Exactly. You hate darts. I love darts because they make my clothes fit. So yeah. Oh, you think they're gonna take a long time? Terry. I love that. Yes, there is. You missed that pattern chatter. I rage quit on them. I was like, wait, what? I was like, this is cool. I've never heard of this company. Let's read their about me. Like, wait, what? So I curve this dart from that point to this point. I curve like this, and then I'm gonna flatten out when I get to the vanishing point and go parallel to my fold. I just find it kind of makes them smoother. It wasn't in the last pattern chatter. Yeah. It was like a promise they made. We will never make you sew a dart. I was like, good luck. Good luck. Bless your heart. I think that I am all about saying you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Like, literally, I don't think that that is a good model, though. I think that that's a little... There is... If it... Oh, I'm not going to go into it. They're selling bag patterns, right? At first, when I thought you were naive, and then I realized the snark was coming through, you win today. That's why Terry's here. we get Terry. Terry gets us. Hi, Nancy. Yep. Sacks are us. Oh my gosh, that's actually sort of an apt description. I almost said destruction. That was an accident for sure. Okay, where's my other side? I don't usually need to do this side because when I fold it, like you only need a pin on one side if it's drafted right? Because if you fold at your dart or your notch here, you fold here, as long as you have it nicely folded and you have this stacked on top, they should land one on top of the other. This one's at an angle right here though, and I lost my pin, so I'm gonna just use the one on the other side like that. There we go. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you're freaking kidding me. That's why you don't use your pins on the other side, because what happens is the table catches it and just pulls it out. I can still see the hole though, so we're good. We're good. Curved out, parallel in. Hi, Elena. How's it going? Okay. There, look at that. If you're ever knit a sweater and they have short row bust shaping, you always see these photos on Instagram. Okay, we'll put that over there to iron. Let's do the back. They'd be better if I drew them. I totally agree with that. You found them? Oh no, don't report me to them. I think they were interviewed recently. So maybe I should listen to the interview and learn. Oops, I just backstitched that. Oops. I always forget on the fisheye darts to hand tie the bottom sometimes, you know, like where you start. They have a new pattern. I can guess what it looks like. No, I'm just teasing. Their stuff was cute. Their website was cute. The philosophy is what I had a problem with. I think, like, for me, it brought out a little bit of a judgmental thing in me, and I didn't really like that. Because I was thinking, well, first of all, are you just not good at sewing darts? So if you're not really that great yourself at sewing darts, since that's your basis philosophy, then I'm doubting your drafting right off the bat. Like right now, I'm like, okay, you can't get past day one in design school without darts. Mullen. The mods are either on my side or they're not. This is how it is here. Oh, do they, Danny? They do have a pattern? Oh. Maybe we need to sew one of their patterns. Give them a little love. All right, did I tie this one? Yeah, I did. I didn't tie this down here. I backstitched that one by accident. You know, my friend Brooke sent me this video once, or not a video. And I forget to do it. Like, it would be good on the fisheye darts. And what you do is basically, like, pretend like I haven't sewn this particular dart yet. You would start facing this way. You'd put your backstitch in the meat of the dart here like this, you know, like sew up to it. Then pivot around and sew your dart like that. So if you don't like hand tying darts, or you just really want them to have the back stitch, or maybe you need to sew fast, then that's an option. You could back stitch, but just do it in the meat of the dart, not at the tip. And you'll still probably get the finish you like, you know? Why are you laughing so much? No, Terry was being sarcastic when she said, so they just make bag patterns. She knows. I think she was there. Okay, I'm going to do this other crazy thing with my front dart. I want to know if anyone's ever seen it before. And if you haven't, will you not turn me into the home sewing police? Because I like doing this, and you might not like it, okay? I'm just going to warn you right now. Although maybe I don't need to do it anymore. I sort of changed this dart a little bit, but you're all like, what are you going to do, Saremy? I ironed this fabric yesterday, but fat lot good that did me. Yeah, that's so true, Julie. Julie would absolutely sell me out. No blouse for you, Julie. Okay. All right. Oh, can you speak English by any chance? I'm sorry. I do not speak. That's Czech, right? Terrible that I don't know, but. All right, so here's the thing I do. Please don't turn me in. Because my dart is pretty deep here, and I'm not a big fan of cutaway darts. I could do that, I guess, but I'd still want the enclosed edge here. So all the busty people might like this. I don't know, but just don't turn me in, all right? Right? You're not you're doing this. I like to cut my dart right here. I cut it right there, like this. I know you're like, why? The tuck on the shelf should lie in towards the side. The tuck on the shelf should lie towards the side seam. Huh? The tuck on the, which one? This one? Tuck on the shelf. So then I tuck this in here. The reason I do this is, you see, look at the before and after of my blouse. Do you see how this is flat and how this one puckers, right? Yeah, you can press the dart however you like. I press this one down, and I press this one always towards the center, never towards the side. And then that way you get this look where it's going to, like the dart's going this way toward the side seam. All right, and then I just tuck this in like this. You might have a tiny bit of raw edge, but it's not much. And then I edge stitch it. I really like the way it looks from the right side. We'll look at it. We'll look at it in a second from the other side. According to the techno, I think that Google Translate is not in Nadia's favor right now. I feel like I'm doing an okay job. I know what I'm doing. Okay. So when this is on the body, it lays really nicely, and whereas this one sometimes it's like, so when you want to push this much fabric towards a certain direction, it's just like when we were binding the facing, right? When you're binding the facing, or when you're gonna sew your collar to your neckline, and you sew the collar to the neckline, clip it, and then you turn it to the inside. This right here, this fold is just shorter length than where you're pressing it to. So it can't lay flat, right? So the logic is logicking for me. So yeah, this is what I do sometimes with my darts. I showed Libby this the other day. I was like, Libby, do you ever do this? What do you think? I've been playing around with this. I like it. Am I going to get in trouble? But I really like the way it hangs on the body when I do this. I don't get that weird pulling at the under bust. And maybe a lot of people haven't encountered this. Their darts aren't as deep. You know, they don't have to press flat somewhere that it won't. It's like a hinge, yeah. It lets the dart lay flat. That's the way I look at it. This one got pushed in even more. I was thinking about French seaming the dart, like making a cutaway and French seaming it, but I just didn't want to have to play around with that today. All right, so now let's do our back, our shoulders. Gonna do some French seams here. You will all be pleased to know that I matched my, I did print matching. See, this is where I think maybe that top stitching foot would be kind of handy when you're doing a French seam. We're setting the sleeve in, because that's how we roll around here. Tawanda. Tawanda, I was just trying to remember. It was you who recommended the vodka starch, right? We were just talking about it in the guild. I was like, wait. Because someone had a starch question. Wait, oh, sorry. Jack has darts like that. Oh, and they cut them right there? Oh. See, maybe I didn't come up with that. Yeah, and yeah, you can cut your darts open too. Totally. Yeah, that would help too. All right. I want my dart that width. I know I could have cut it away, but I didn't want to because I'm enclosing all my seams. So that's just my choice. You could do a cutaway dart if you want. Yeah, I know you're writing through a translator. I don't know what else to say. I was going to say something, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say right now. Okay. I shouldn't have had to trim that, but because I've been handling this fabric a little bit, my edges do have a little bit of a fuzz to them, and I'm doing really small French seams today. I don't have much seam allowance to work with. Oh, Ray's here. I didn't even see Ray. Hi, Ray. I don't know where you are. Oh, there you are. Hello, Beauty. I think we need to figure out what the shelf is. Yeah. Drunken starch. I like that. Shelf might be the bust. You do, Beverly. Ooh. Okay. We're going to press. Got that little shape in the hem there. We're going to do the collar next and facing. Sleeves, hems, done. Boom. Then buttonholes. Oh, I can't see chat. I thought I turned the TV, the screen to me, but I didn't. Here, let's press this one a little better here. I really wish that my the water tube to the iron would stay scooched up, but it keeps see how it does this little loopy thing? Like, and I'll slide it, see, it's a big loop. And that gets caught on the thing that holds my iron, like the cradle. And then I'll set the iron right on top of the tube. And I keep like scooching it up so that it's flush with the black cord, and then it just does that again. So maybe I need to like find something else to cinch it a little bit more firm. The little clamps aren't enough that hold it. So I have that little hem shape, so it's kind of at an angle there, and then we'll pull this seam over here. And then once it's sewn and turned up, it'll be fine, but it does feel a little bit like you're gonna get like a little poke out part there, but we won't. Right here, see, we have that shaping. All right. all I've done so far, Tiffany, is the darts, and now I'm doing the side seams. Oh wait, maybe I did bind the facing. I did a Hong Kong finish on the little facing edge, and then I did darts, and now I'm just doing the side seams and shoulders. You're caught up. You're a busy gal, Tawanda. All right, one more. Okay. All right, so now we have our little bodice shell. See how nice that lays? Okay. So let's get our collar out. Yeah, Terry, I'm doing that wrist flick too. I do it at home on my iron that doesn't have the hose. Every time I set it in the crate, because I have the exact same ironing board at home, you know. Just easing the collar on because we did the under collar. Sorry, I'm not talking much. Just realized it. Oh yeah, a loop of painter's tape. You know what? I didn't even think about something as basic as just doing tape. Susan, thanks. I think I actually have I have packing tape. I have something else here. I'm thinking of the carpet tape. I don't want to use that. That stuff is freaking sticky. It's just too sticky, you know? Like it's permanent stick. There's my flick. That was my wrist flick. Actually, that's... yeah, it'll be okay. I was going to try and iron those ends first, but I try and do it before I turn it right side out, and then I can iron this little end here. But once I turn it right side out, it's kind of hard to get in there. I need to do that point a little better. I tried to cut this out so I had a machine on each collar point here. Oh man, The psychic is having a really good time in there. I can hear them cackling with laughter. See, so when we have a sewing machine on each corner, I could not get it to where I could get 2 small ones on each side. Yeah, I'm trying to think what kind of tape I have here because I'm not at home. The blue tape, yeah, the painter's tape. I don't have that. I know I have packing tape, carpet tape, scotch tape. I wonder if I just have one more. Maybe I just need to move the clamps. I don't know. Do we want top stitching? Do we want top stitching? Yeah, we do. I don't think I'm that great at sewing collars, but they're okay. I'm fine with it. I'm not fine with spending a ton of time using tailoring techniques on a quilting cotton blouse. You know what I mean? So I bid $1 on a down coat kit on an online estate sale and won it. That's fun. Okay, you guys have been buying some strange things off the internet as an experiment. Like I saw Shim bought a dress or something. Pretty eager to see that. You know. Of course, I want top stitching. I don't know, sometimes I really like it when it looks like, it's almost like a magic trick, you know? Like you don't see the top stitching, you're like, how is it staying like that? And it just looks so clean. Oops, I have a little bit of my collar showing there, but I like that. That'll do. All right, so we're going to sew this with the facing. Oh, we need a label. Dang, if I had my Sew Expo label. So that'd be fun, huh? All right, let's see what we got. This is everything, right? Yeah, okay. So, what? Plant. Let's see. Oh, this one kind of matches Proud as Punch. I do not like these scratchy labels. I hate to say this, but I think I need to just like donate them or give them to somebody because I know I'll use them eventually and I'll be unhappy. Nah, you just gotta get your undercollar good, Sydney, and that won't happen. Okay, feeling myself. I'm probably thinking about sewing is literally my life. Oh, well, why didn't I use all these Valentine labels? Maybe this, oh no. Can't Stop, Won't Stop, story of my life as well. Or the flowers. Okay, here. I have the flowers. I have this one because it says I'm probably thinking about sewing. My knit print would look really good with this. Proudest Punch. I could do something like this with Can't Stop, Won't Stop. You know? Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Something like that. You guys think? Maybe I should put it on the facing. Here we go. Oh no, Julie, we're tooting right now. Your favorite thing. That's what Julie calls it, by the way, not me. Let's just pull this off. I like that, Rachel. You know what? I'm taking these things out. I already feel better just making that decision. Okay. Yeah, I like that, Rachel. Proud as punch. Maybe that. Why is this one so dirty? How about that? Okay, let's do that. Okay. Thanks, Adina. Wait. A down wallet? I thought she said coat. I'm not entirely sure it has kids for a down jacket and a down wallet. What the heck? Or as my friend would say, what the heck? Man, Google Translate does not like sewing. All right, I like this. Something like this. Nadia, you're so bossy. Okay. I like that. And no, it is not sewn to the left side seam. That is what's itchy. Man, that little area on my body cannot take a label there at all. It's so sensitive under the rib cage. I'm not sewing this for sale. We're all thinking it. I like a challenge. There we go. Blouse punch. All right. Hi, Kira. I didn't see you chime in. There you go. I see you up there. How's it going? Nice to see you. Is this my center back neck notch? It is. Okay. Oh, Julie. It does seem like a hanging in there kind of vibe lately. So I'm glad you're hanging in there. Yeah, I don't know why they do it to the side seam. For me, that is so itchy. I think that just depends maybe where it gets tacked. That is yeah, it is. The interfacing closed all my little notches. I know, but it's cultural, yes. But at the same time, I've never seen Nadia. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong too. I have a weird name in where I live. I have considered a weird name, right? But you know, when you come into someone's space and you tell them how to do things, that's bossy. And I'm just saying it. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're itchy no matter where you put them, right? Like, you know, I feel like I know a little bit about what I'm doing. I've been doing this a long time. You know, and if this is your first stream that you watch of mine, it's definitely not going to be my, like, all skills thing. So, yeah, you can put them wherever you want. I agree. All right, so I'm going to sew my facing across the bottom at the hem line first. So it's about right here, 1.25 inch hem. I'm using my throat plate to find that spot. And then we'll go up. Like, I do love the feedback, and I love it when anyone's gonna say what they would do, because I actually do find that really interesting, like where you guys all like to do things, how you like to do it. So I think it just depends. Like, if you're looking for that, then great. But I've spent a lot of times in streams. It's just a thing, yeah. Anyway. You do side seam, yeah. See, for me, that is such a sensitive spot. Like right here, right on my ribs, and maybe I'm a little short-waisted, and that's a really sensitive spot. But I'm not one to remove labels in ready-made stuff. Not that I have any ready-made stuff anymore, but I will remove those. Oh, yeah. Yeah, backseat gamers. Missy gets it. That is like, I think like maybe that is partly what that is for me, because I have been that one where I just really want to tell someone, I'm like, no, go left, go left, go left. You know, like you're spectating and they're just like, shut up. You're like, I'm sorry. I've learned my headphones are better, weirdly, because I don't really feel like I bought the nicest headphones, but I can hear directionally with them really well, and I will tell people, they're on your left shoulder, and they don't believe me, and then, you know, but they don't fit me, but they're really good. So, oh, my thread, I just used the last of my thread on my spool. I can't believe how far I got with that. It just looked like I had a yard left. Yeah, I agree about the flat label thing. Yeah, I will put my pants on backwards too. Libby prefers them that way, remember? Oh, I'm glad, Kira. That's great. Yeah, I think this is a really great crowd to ask about knitting too. I would do it in the guild. Then you have like a place to refer back to some ideas for what you're looking for. You said you don't know if you have any more ready-made clothing. It made me sad because I have not been sewing and had to buy clothing. Oh, I take that back. I did buy bras recently. And do you see my thread is right? Here's the end of my thread right now. I need a place to move. I've been known to rip a hole in my side seam. Yep. Yes, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to pivot here, but we're going to have to double check it and make sure that it lines up with the other side first. Yeah, you're doing exactly what Sydney said, Adina. I totally agree. I bought bras and I was like, I don't have any regrets with that. Okay, so we can go down about 1/8 of an inch, a fat 1/8 of an inch. take this out right here. I don't know why, but I'm kind of using a shorter stitch length than I normally do. It's probably because I've been flipping back and forth between the darts and the top stitching. All right, let's check it now. Hi, Aisha, how's it going? That movie's getting a sequel. Oh, there's a dog in that movie, so I don't know. I watched it. I liked it. But, you know, did the dog make it? I don't remember. And if it didn't, is he going to have another dog? Because I can't do that. All right. So I'm going to trim off just the facing here. Normally I would just draft it like this and then like that. Okay. So I do this so that the bottom edge is finished, but we need to double check it again as well. We can actually go like this too. All right. Let's double check our collar. Make sure we don't have any tucks. So now we're gonna clip into it. Dog didn't make it. Yeah. Yeah, so they probably will do that again. And I can't watch animals in movies, even if they're not part of the plot. I'm sorry. It's a weird thing I have. I've always had it since I was a kid. I don't even like mentioning it. That people think it's over dramatic. But I'm really stressed the whole time when I know. Who is it lets you search for movies to see whether the animals... No way. There is, Danny. I can't even read a book. Like, I remember in book club once, we read this Western. It's considered the very first Western. I think it's called The Virginian. Is it called The Virginian? I would know it if I heard it. It's actually really good, too. But there's a whole part about a horse. And my friends in book club knew this about me by then, and they were like messaging me. This is like before texting. They're Saremy. Just skip this whole chapter. I was so glad they told me that. They were like, it doesn't matter to the plot. I was like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I literally play a horror video game right now, but there's no dogs in it. Did I scare Nadia off? I'm sorry if I did. I'm just trying to be like, okay. I don't want to defend everything I'm doing in here. I like the challenges sometimes, though. What kind of scissors do I have? These are the, oh, Karen K. Buckley. I have a link to them on my website in the tools. You don't have to use that link. It's an affiliate link, but if you're just trying to figure out what it is, that'll help you identify them. They're really amazing, actually. I really love how sharp they are. There's different sizes, and someday I'll get those size up because I would really like to have those. But I'll tell you, it takes a little getting used to because the hands are squishy. So, but what's great about this is it prevents you from like taking your scissors and being like, squeezing really hard on something. So they are the sharpest scissors I've ever had in my life. And they're light. Like there's only metal here. This is the silicone. So yeah, exactly, Terry. The video game I'm playing right now allows me to befriend dogs. Oh, really? Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. We clipped our neck. I've turned my points. All right, now we're just going to double check. I'm going to turn this but not trim the point yet because we just really want to figure out if our center front matches before we trim this. It's really hard to fix it if you don't have enough there to kind of wiggle around, you know? All right. So we're just checking to see if our center fronts line up, and that looks pretty good. We checked already once, so. Yeah, thanks, Adina. My views have been continuing to be really good on my channel, which kind of surprises me since I'm pretty much only streaming every other week, and I'm not uploading any like new how-tos, but hopefully that'll change. I'm a little worried that I'm gonna have to move soon. And that is gonna, like, I just cannot wait to get back to Fittopedia and some of the other things I plan on doing this year. I feel like that's gonna set it all back, you know? I have a thread here I'm just pulling through. Okay. I like to do the seam first flat, and then when I do this, it likes to fold right on the edge there. That's why I always do it open first. I sort of discovered that accidentally because of all the French seams we sew. I'm like, you know, it does such a nice job when you do it as a French seam. Why don't we just do it on everything that has to fold right there, you know? This was a really weird print to match. It's the repeat is a super weird shape. Like it's probably a square, you know, like all things. But the way the machines are, like it's very erratic how they are. You know, like it's very hard to detect where the repeat is. In fact, there's only 2 repeats going across the yard. The yard, yeah, going across the yard. And it was hard to find, sorry, I want to do it from this side. Hard to find where it was. It was very wasteful. Thankfully, I had separate facings. I might have actually, I don't know, would I have saved fabric? I might have, because I had to cut these so individual. Okay. I kind of give it a little tug there, get it lined up. All right, let's check my center fronts. Sorry, I can't see the chat either. I'm really sorry. Was that? Oh yeah, baby. Yeah. You know it. Julie, I hate to tell you this, sweetie, but you might have welcomed that by inadvertently in some of the ways you've treated Ray. So, you know, Ray, you have at it there. Yeah, exactly, Shim. Who's picking on whom? Exactly. Oh, man. You wish you had a Juki. What do you have? I wish I had a Juki, too. Another Juki. Or a servo. Oh, do you have a clutch motor on your industrial? Yeah, that kind of gets loud, doesn't it? Like it just does kind of wear on you, you know. A Singer 400W. What is that? And Julie are sisters. I think Julie has started it, and now she needs to stay for it. The upper turbo clutch loud and too flat. Yeah. Oh, too flat. You can't change the speed. You might be able to adjust the speed. Try and look online for it. Oh, can you change the speed on a clutch motor? Dang, I can't remember. I can change my speed. I never have. I don't even know how it's set. Oh, I don't have any thread, by the way. What did I just sew? What was the last thing I sewed? Because there's literally no thread in my machine right now. Did we get it all? Damn. We need to pay attention. Yeah, I think you're right, Terry. I think I might be misremembering that. I ran out one whole spool. So I have to thread my machine from scratch. It's been a while. You're not distracting. I'll just ignore if I can't respond, or if I don't respond, just ask again. I usually try and circle back and get everything. This is how we roll. I'm just threading my machine now, so basically I'm just flossing teeth. This thread is so much lighter than what I usually use. I'm like, it's floating away from me. Where is it? There's literally an emote they made me add to my chat for when I get distracted, and this is it right here. Tangent. But we're just threading the machine right now. It's funny you say that, David, because I was watching a friend's Instagram reel the other day, and they sewed themselves a little like Valentine's thing really quick. And I watched like a couple seconds, and then I was like, then she turned on her machine, and when she pushed the button on the machine, that's when I stayed. I was like, oh, what machine are we talking about here? And I heard the woo, and I really felt nostalgic for that sound of the clutch motor. I know that you want the servo, but at the same time, it's very nostalgic for me hearing that sound, and it's very comforting. So, wait, oh, Beverly, how will quilting cotton hold up with wear? Oh, good. It's quilting cotton. 2 colors, blue one side, white the other on your jacket. Wait, what, Beverly? Did you ask a question and I missed it, Beverly? Or did someone ask a question? Sorry. You missed your stick shift car, right? Exactly. It is kind of related. It's also a clutch. Okay, let's triple check our center front. You know, this is kind of a speak now and forever hold your peace type of situation. That's why you gotta check your center fronts, right? Yeah, I know, right? Totally agree. I think I scared one gal off for just trying to be helpful today, but usually we're pretty chill around here. I am trying to decide. I could Hong Kong finish this. Oh, last thread. Oh, yeah. Well, this is the thing. I asked Hearts to send me a spool to match this because I thought, oh, this is kind of a weird color. And they sent one and it matched. But then I was like, oh, I only ordered one. I usually order 2. So I have one making a bobbin and one sewing. And so then I thought, well, maybe I have a bobbin that's close. And then I found a bobbin. I was like, well, wait, that looks like it would match my fabric even better. And it was weird. It's like a grello color, and the other one's a yellow, and they both worked really good. But I had a bobbin of that other one, so I had 2, and I had very little on one of the spools. So I used the full one to wind a bobbin for when this one runs out. I did a whole like strategy thing. So. Yeah, during the week, too, I'm surprised there's this many people. My husband occasionally will ask me, how many people are in your stream today? And I'm like, I think I saw 59. He's like, what? I'm like, I know. It's amazing. Okay, where are we at? We are at, I was about to hem this, but we don't need to do that right now. We'll think about it. We're going to secure our facings though. So let's make sure we like that. Make sure we don't have any like torquing. We like that. So sometimes I stitch in the ditch, but I do not know why. The one seam I always sew that comes out is the stitch in the ditch at the shoulders. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to secure it on the inside. What I do is, see, I'm lifting up the collar here. I lift up the collar. I smooth all this out. Like, I'm very, very diligent about making this smooth. And now I'm going to pick up the seam allowance. Make sure, wait. Seam allowance and the facing and hold them together. I don't want to catch anything else but that. And we're going to stitch in the seam allowance. You can hand sew this too, but why would you? Just kidding. Oh, look, the sisters made up. I can't remember if we taught Cricket how to drive a stick. The last car I owned, that was a stick. It's been a bit, I think. I think it was actually a used Audi, Danny. Oh, I knew I missed it. All right, we're gonna do the sleeves next, and we just need to get there. Okay. There we go. I'll just walk. That's funny. I learned to drive a stick on a really hard car. The way it was like you had to have the clutch really far out. So I thought they were all like that. And the next one I got, I was like, wait. Wait. Oh, no, I did catch it. Dang it. We'll take out just a few of these stitches and we'll secure it. It's just the end that I caught. This quilting cotton is somewhat... So it's better to come at it from this side going toward it, because your machine is less likely to catch it for some reason. Oh, there's a reason, but you know, whatever. It's easier to miss. Oh wait, did Beverly restate her question? Can't remember if I saw it. All right. Sleeve time. Terry. You're that person. I see. Oh, about the thread? Okay. That's incentive, Tiffany. Did you want the... Oh, look at that. My whole thread plan for once worked out so good. I'm so happy because I already have a bobbin wound over here. And now I have an empty bobbin. Oh, so you wanted the... No question. Okay, thanks, Beverly. Yeah, that's how I got my first car. It wasn't a stick that was an automatic. It was my grandmother's little Subaru. Not like what Subarus look today either, by the way. Not a cool Subaru. But my grandmother was a speed demon. I grew up in Orange County in Southern California, that Orange County, not the Florida one. And, you know, I basically grew up next to Disneyland, like literally on the block next to Disneyland, same block as the Anaheim Convention Center. So I think that, you know, when my grandmother lived in Southern California, she always did, you know, pretty much her whole life. The amount of freeways had escalated, right? And when where I grew up, there were orange orchards. Now there's really not any orange orchards to speak of, right? So my grandmother refused to drive on the freeway, and so she would only take surface streets, and it was almost like a challenge, you know? Like my mom would be like, all right, well, we'll meet you there. And she would make sure to beat us. She would take surface streets and we would take the freeway, and she would. And sometimes I would drive with her, and it really was quite scary. So when she passed away, I got her car, and that car really loved to drive fast. It was crazy. I don't know how you train a car to like to drive fast. Maybe it was kind of a sporty car. I don't know. Her name was Barbara Ann. The car, by the way, not my grandma. After the Beach Boys song, because I was the nerdiest of nerds at that age and the youngest Beach Boys fan ever. My first concert was the Beach Boys. And I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I think Chicago opened for them. Your mom names their cars. I love it. I have to say, my last truck's name was Bruce, after the shark in Nemo. And I named my next truck the same thing. It was the same truck, just a different year. And sometimes my husband will be like, oh, I saw Bruce driving around today. I'm like, don't tell me about Bruce. Apparently, he went to a nice woman, so, you know, there's that. But he was blue. He was perfect. Both your kids named theirs. My husband had a Tesla for a while, and my daughter had to drive it. Like soon after she got her license, she had to drive it, and she was both like excited and terrified to drive the thing. And that's when we learned he had named it. It was blue. It was a blue car. He had named it Boobazy. And that's what our daughter had called blueberries when she was little, was Boobazies. And he had named his Tesla Boobazy. And the thing is, like, you can kind of see that about a car, I think, like when you, because it's like all, you know, tablet-y. So, my first car was named Little Habibi. Oh, I love that, Little Habibi. We had about need to drive fast. The mechanics kept telling us we need to take it on longer highway speed drives to keep it in good shape. Oh, I remember those Passats. Because my husband was a big VW fan. I remember those. I don't know anything about cars. It's just kind of seeps in because he's really into it. Same with my daughter. I'm not. All right. What did Big Habib teach? Okay. You do. Yeah. I'm pretty good. I'm not sure RT Blade's name and if they're in the guild or not, but they don't have to say if they don't want to. Or Misty. You know, it's like, it's, yeah. Oh, I sometimes know, like I know Terry That took me a while. Terry's mama said so. Where was I going? I'm going over here. Yeah, here we go. Oh, no. Jeez. I want this one here. Here we go. Wrong sides together. Back. Yeah, we're good. It can remain a mystery if you like, yes. You know, I was just talking to someone recently, I can't remember if it was you guys, and just loving the fact that there's no messaging in YouTube. There's no like direct messaging or anything. I love that about YouTube. Like you can figure out how to message potentially the video person, but nobody else, you know? Sydney's like, I hide from nobody. Oh, that's awesome, RT Blade. That is impactful. I think that anytime you have a teacher like that in your life, you remember them for the rest of your life. You remember their names. You remember everything. And I do too. I remember my teachers. And there were a lot of really great, nice teachers, but I remember some forever. You just made me doubt what I'm doing, Susan, and I don't appreciate it. I think Susan's being a smart aleck, like I said. Your first step is doing them wrong somehow. I do have videos on this. That's why I'm just not boring you with the details of it. But I put the easing stitch in there. I usually put a pin at the shoulder notch in the underarm only. If you want more, you can put more. And then I offset the underarm seam from one another so that it's not very bulky. When you do this first pass, you can stitch right through the tucks that you're creating with the easing stitch. That's okay. It's the only time it's okay. If you do set-in sleeves and you find them to be a little bit hard, I think that there's an element to doing them with a French seam that makes them easier. And it's because, like, once I'll show you on the other one. I just pull the threads of the easing stitch enough, and here's my easing thread, so I'm going to pull it out of the way so I don't sew over it. So it's hopefully, Ray and I love it when I can pull it out all in one go at the end. So for Ray and I's sake, we try not to sew over it, right, Ray? So I just pull those threads. I kind of have an idea of how much it is, and then I sew down through the tucks, and that's fine because the next pass, now it's secure. We don't need any more pins. It's very secure, and we will sew next to our easing stitch, and we won't get any tucks because it's secure now. It's like, it's kind of done, and it was an easy way to do it. Yeah, I get that, Susan. I don't know why, but I used to always get really, and I still do, get confused with which sleeve goes in which armhole sometimes. I will definitely, like, turn myself around, and I'm like, Saremy, double notches to the back. What's so hard to get here? Why are you not understanding this? Yeah, I think that it's like when you type something wrong and you keep typing it that way, and now our phones are like, oh, that's the way you like to type it. I'm like, no. It just becomes like muscle memory, unfortunately, you know. All right, so I'm gonna do both the first steps, and then we'll do the ironing, and then both the second steps. So I pull the thread. I'm going to pull it from the right side because when I finish, hopefully this thread will be poking out and I can tug on it. You can pull it from the inside too. Doesn't matter. Just think about it. And so I pull this up. I had already done this already, and then I gather it. I gather it as tight as I can right before I get tucks. I had already done this side, so now I'm just pulling it all out. But I get it right before it starts getting tucks. along the seam line, the stitching line, right? So now we have this wrong side out, and we have our shirt right side out. And I just do this. I'm like double notch. This is the back. This goes in here just to confirm. And now I offset the underarm here. So I'm going to put the body of the garment, press the side seam to the back, and the underarm seam of the sleeve to the front, just to offset the thickness there. I put one pin here. And then I put one at the shoulder notch right there to the shoulder seam. Press the shoulder seam to the back. I do this too. I go, okay, is that fitting in there? And look, it is fitting in there, right? Yeah, I know it's not lined up, but it's gathered enough, right? We're just worried about these two sections. So then we sew with our little less than half of our seam allowance. I start from the bottom. Here's my easing thread, so I pull that out of the way so I don't, if you sew over it, you can't pull on it, and you might need to in a second. Sometimes you're like, oh, I could really pull this up a little more or let some out. So you don't want to stitch over it. It'll fix it if you accidentally stab it. So then these little tucks, sometimes they want to push down like this, right? And then you'll get this little, like, pull the camera down real quick here. So these little tucks right here, right? Stop, we're gonna get seasick. My machine, when it comes to it, it might do this. So I push on it so that it's more perpendicular to the raw edge, like that. You can use your awl too. I just straighten the bottom layer, make sure. Just make sure those tucks, because the thing is, if they get pushed over, you might not catch the raw edge. Like it's not that you won't catch it. What happens? Something bad happens, right? Trying to think. I mean, it's gonna get caught. You just need to make sure you are catching the fabric too. Sometimes they bend so far over that you actually miss the seam on one. What happened? Why'd my thread come undone? Weird. I thought I ran out again. It broke for some reason. Isn't it cute how when they say to just drag your thread along the groove of the needle and it'll just go right in? Sweetie, if I could drag the thread along the groove of the needle, I wouldn't even need the groove of the needle. I would just poke it into the hole. Okay. People who say that are parroting what other people say. This is what I don't like about so much sewing content out there, is I see the same stuff and I'm like, but have you tried that? Have you actually tried that? All right. Okay, so now I'm just gonna trim this. Snow. We had kind of a big storm yesterday. I had really regretted not bringing a raincoat. At one point I was like, That's not the wind, that's the rain. It sounded intense out there. I'm just glad we haven't had any trees come down. Okay. Did you guys notice there's an extra week this month for pattern chatter? Because I'm gonna be gone the first Friday. Just so you guys know. I saw there was a couple new patterns lately too. All right, so now we'll get the salami out. And we just press this seam. This is, I think this is the hardest part of the French seam sleeve. I don't know if I'm being a Pollyanna, but I do feel like this is kind of the hardest part, especially if you don't have something to stick inside there like this. If you don't, just stick a towel, even a piece of wood, you know, something. Because this really makes it easier in the next step too. Good chance to make sure you caught both layers. Pull it really taut too. All right. And then I just pull the sleeve a little bit, like I just pull the edge here from the inside. And now we press the seam, and I press it right on the edge there. There's no way I could do this in class, you guys. You're right. The vent is so much faster. That didn't want to lay right until I bent it around this thing. Could even do this, right? Might be a little easier. Stick it inside like an arm. Whoa. Oh, Shem, you said recently about this Netflix show, you were like, it was like called The Stranger. I was like, you know, that keeps getting recommended to me, and I'm sort of like going through so much stuff to watch because I'm packing kits. So I watched it, and I was like, he's right, this is actually pretty good. There's a ton of those by that same book author, and now Netflix is like, oh, you like twisted psychological stuff? Here, let us show you our catalog of Harlan Coben stuff. But they've been okay so far. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I need a break from this. But it was kind of funny. I meant to tell you that. All right. I think I pressed this from the other side. It's a little easier, like this side. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Stop getting caught on there. I got to figure out this hose thing. Oh, and I think I should have mentioned that even if you have notches, don't do them very deep when you're doing a French seam. It's going to be in your seam allowance, you know. But you know, it's just nice, you know, not to see that little cut in your seam allowance. I've gotten a lot faster at this step. I feel like this is the tedious part. We're just basically getting it to a state where we can just sew it without thinking. And it's about to be there. Okay. Almost done. That's why it's actually, the loop gets worse and worse, is because it gets caught. But if it wasn't there to begin with, it wouldn't get caught. I wish sometimes I could just set this iron like right here, but I can't. All right, that's good enough. The struggle. Oh, should I take it off? I gotta sneeze. Oh, yeah. I think I've decided what to do with my green denim terry. But, you know, I might change my mind. All right, so now we just sew this seam and closing that edge. And I like to try and sort of shape the seam. So like right here, we're at this is the underarm side seam, right? And so this is the base of the armhole, so it's curving like this. And so I put it in that curved shape and sew it. That keeps it lined up and nice and not getting any tucks or pulling too. Oh yeah, you know our green denim? I think I want a new tamarack jacket. And I sort of want to recreate what I did on this tamarack jacket, but I want to spend more time on it. Like I want to fit it better and do all that, you know, like I want to make it really nice. But I think I'm going to do the green denim on the outside. And then it's lined with batting. So it'd be kind of a thick coat, and I like the idea of this. Plus the tamarack has extended sizing now, or they expanded sizing, I should say. So that might be fun. It's not going to be nearly as cute as whatever you do. Or stylish. But I just wish my tamarack fit a little better. I did it before I knew to scoop the bottom armhole. I just kind of went into it, you know. And it's really hard to wear anything under it. I had done some mods to it. I had added a collar. I had added cuffs. But I sometimes have to have my husband help me reach inside my sleeve and pull my shirt sleeve down, you know, like you do with little kids. Yeah, I just don't think I want jeans with it. I don't want something so pigeonholed as that I might be a little bit nervous to wear in public. I would 100% wear a green jacket though, you know. Yeah, I saw that, Adina. It's not a coat though. It's a button up. It kind of surprised me that I didn't really think about how they didn't have a button up. So that's a really good addition to their pattern library. They don't have a button up, right? I'm not forgetting something. Like I would kind of been racking my brain. Like, what am I forgetting? There's got to be something. Okay. They have things with like a classic button up. Yeah. Yeah, but not like that exactly, Elena, right? I think that was a really good addition. All right, let's check our sleeves and see. They look good. Okay. All right, and then let's see if we can grab the thread. Oh, I don't think I paid attention just now. Here's one, here's one, here's one. Here it is, Ray. Yeah, there's no back pleat. They have the Cali, yeah. I do not consider the Cali like that, though. Yeah, it's very, I have to say, everything they sew things in lately looks like pajama fabric, though. Like, that's just their choice, but I'm like, okay, why did you have to make it look like pajamas? You know, you don't have to remove this easing stitch, by the way. It's just my own thing. I like doing it. I feel like it relaxes it better. Makes those tucks kind of floof up a little bit and relax in there. All right. This thing is loud. All right, so we just have sleeves, or hems, and the buttonholes now. So, 1 1/4. Do I just want to top stitch this down? Kind of do. Wait. Wait, oh, what am I missing? I feel like Missy said something and I missed it, and because Ray replied, and then Kira, question for anyone, my Juki DX7 computerized semi-industrial isn't sewing. Not sure if it's a timing or a burr on the bobbin needle plate. Bought it at the sewing machine plus, but okay, so not sewing, I don't know what you mean, like it doesn't turn on. When you press the foot pedal, nothing happens. You sew and it doesn't make a stitch. Are you kidding? It's alpha sizing? Have you changed the needle, Kira? Have you changed the needle and have you rethreaded it? Is it breaking the thread? I need some pins. That is an interesting choice, alpha sizing. Needle jumps all over the place, breaks thread and needles. The needle jumps all over the place. How's the pressure of your presser foot? Are your feet touching the fabric? When you have the presser foot down, how much space is between the presser foot and the feed dogs, and are the feed dogs moving? Let's see if we can at least narrow this down for you. I'm not like a mechanic, but I definitely have had a lot of unfortunate things happen. You know what? Let's just do it this way. What's this thread here? You need a degree to understand me sometimes. Yeah, you do. A degree of patience. A degree in snark. Man, quilting cotton gets so thready. Why is this the choice of quilters? Stop getting hooked. Okay. See, it's this big old loop. It just will not stay cinched. Let's try that. I think maybe Kira's trying to see, hopefully. Yeah, I recently did a FaceTime call with the owner of the center and they helped me. They lost their mechanic, so he's kind of all they got. Everybody's trying to retire. I've changed every setting possible, fabric, you name it. The feed dogs move. Everything seems fine. We'll sew a couple of stitches and then the needle will jump to the side even with no tension on it. So it obviously has a zigzag function. So it's semi-industrial, but it has the ability to zigzag. Where's these little scissors that sit here? Here they are. Yeah, I think I would call them. Ask them if they will do, or have you tried YouTube, Kira? Because there is a lot for fixing Vijukis on there. I just found one. Terry, what was the name of that channel I found? Do you remember it? I sent the link to you because we both have the same machine. Can you, Terry, if you're still here and you know where that link is, do you mind linking that channel in chat for Kira? Maybe she can find some links to those videos. Oh yeah, that's a good question. That's why I was like, so it must be a zigzag, but yeah, maybe that's a better question. Is the needle bending? I never pre-iron my hem. This is so luxurious. Now I know why you guys do this. This is great. I love this. But there's a lot of curve, so I figured I might as well iron it a little bit. And D-tube. YouTube. Yeah, right, Terry? I could probably look it up too. The name doesn't scream. Wasn't it, didn't it have like tool in the, no. Shoot. That's where you got it. It might be a burr. A burr will be cutting your thread. A burr is very, very specific, and the burr can be on many things. If your thread's not breaking, if your needle is moving, it's kind of hard to... You're not a guildie, right? Because you could come to workshop and we could look at it. Oh, Juki Junkies were you first. No, it was a different channel. What's happening with the hem width? What do you mean what's happening? So I'm not perfect. I'm just hemming it. I'm just pre-ironing it. You just never see me do this. I know, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? I had thought about doing a Hong Kong finish, but I decided to just turn it under and clean finish. If I was using a serger, I would have just overlocked this edge instead of turning it under and then top stitching it down. I think actually, I will say if you're interested in this kind of blouse style, I've worn these a lot. I like the flatter nature of just overlocking, turning it up and top stitching it down. I like that flatter nature you get of the blouse. I think it skims over the hips a little nicer. Is there a way you can video what is the issue and upload it in your group? Kind of. I mean, if she came to workshop, we could just spotlight her and put it on video if she wanted. I'm not a mechanic, but maybe we could at least figure out if it's something you can do or a mechanic could help you with. But you can upload videos, but it is it's not very great. It's like you have to do 9 seconds. It happened. Oh, I really hope you didn't bend the needle bar. I'm kind of trying to figure that out. You're a guildie now? Okay, cool. I don't know if any of the workshops ever work for you. Next week, it's on Wednesday and Saturday next week. They're always on Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesday one is in the later time, and then the Saturday is the early one. So did you see Terry's question? So is your needle bending or is it moving, jumping over like a zigzag? When you say it just moves over. Yeah, I'll find it, Terry. I don't think it'll be too hard for me to find. Oh wait. You know what, Terry? You may have saved it a lot longer ago than when I shared it to you, because I think you were like, oh yeah, I already know this channel and I have it. Oh yeah, there you go. Elaine has a good solution. I forgot about that. Yeah, Juki Junkies does have a lot of content, but this one was a specific to fixing them. So let me see if I can find it really quick. Okay, so where is my watch later? Maybe under subscriptions. Let me just quick browse this. No. Oh no, I subscribe to way too many people. We're not doing that. History. Oof, I watch a little bit of YouTube. Can you just look at things that, like the latest you subscribe? Oh boy, I did not watch all this stuff. There's no way. It just auto plays. That doesn't count. Oh, no, God. I think I'm getting there. Wait, let me see if Terry found it by any chance. Cut sew. Sewing gold. Is it sewing gold? Because it's funny, I always want to say it's Gold Star. That's it. That's it. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. Good call, good call. Sewing gold. Thank you, Nita. All right. I don't really think I paid attention enough on this. Why are you sorry? It's fine. I didn't know either, Terry. And I never found it. So thank Nita for it. Terry is known for being the YouTube link queen. But the thing is, Terry, I think that you're being really hard on yourself, because I think when I shared this with you, you were like, oh yeah. I already subscribed to this channel. So it's not something you recently... So in other words, you were actually way ahead of me. But yeah, I when I had that crazy thing happen right before Christmas, I found on their site a way to deal with it, but then I didn't end up needing to. Thankfully, it was a really easy fix. And I didn't have to bring it in. Okay, last hem. No, we're getting a little torquing there. Let's get our act together here. We're going to allow that little bit of tucking. I don't know, Nancy. I don't know, because sewing is so big, you know? Yeah, maybe they haven't put out a video in a while. I could have definitely done a nicer job on this hem. Okay, I wanna... Don't want to end up with a bubble. All right. So nice that finishes down there. Let's cut this thread. Cool. Proud as punch. You know what? I didn't understitch my facing. I didn't understitch my facing. That's crazy. Oh, this kind of has a like a Hawaiian shirt vibe. And I love it. All right. Yeah, exactly, Nita. That's me too. I almost wanted to say that and I didn't. But yeah, exactly. Cute. It looks more manly on here, like more like a men's Hawaiian shirt, but it has this nice little darted feature. Let's put it on my dress form really quick, and then we'll put some buttonholes on it because let's see how it looks. I'm excited. Yeah, it's called shoot, I didn't link it, but under yesterday's video, someone asked me and I put the item number on hearts. It's sewing wings with chartreuse or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. Let's get those machines matched up. Nothing like a bent pin. Nobody likes a bent pin. I need to press this better, maybe even understitch my facing. I may have to take this out. It looks like a Hawaiian shirt. Julie. Nita. I interrupt myself with tasks so often. That will happen to me someday. I don't think it might. Maybe. These pants aren't my favorite. They're, you know, these are the Merriam trousers. Like, they're super comfortable, but they get really baggy right here because of this is the ones with the expanding waist. Wait. Right? So there's a lot of, like, I don't know. They're really comfortable. And I've been sitting in a while, so the corduroys are like, eh. I think that it could use like this works for this print, but you could do a really cute little sleeve on it. Okay, see how this dart pulls right here? Wait, can you see that? You see it? See the wrinkle? But see, these don't. See how smooth it is? Because it would be like the dart would be pulling right here, right? The fold of the dart is right here. And it would be pulling on that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dina. It used to be in my background. Yeah, absolutely. It's never enough, Dina. It's never enough. But you see how it's pulling there? That's because the dart, do you know what I mean? You see it? See it? See how it goes wing? Watch. Okay, this is the before. I really want you to be able to see this. Let's do an experiment. Okay, you see how it's pulling? Look at that. All right, so now let's just cut it. Look. It doesn't look that much better on camera, does it? No, it is 100% better. 100%. Look at that one. See the difference? You see how we get, where's my hands? See how these are pointing right here? Sorry, I can't tell with my left and my right with the cameras. See how it's doing that? And this one's smoother now. So, and then it's just so much smoother. I don't think the camera is doing it as much justice as it could. Plus it's not level. The camera's not level. But yeah, the 100% looks better. I think partly it's twisted on here too. So there we go. Yeah, it looks so much better. All right, let's do the buttonholes now. And I'll just understitch my facing later. And maybe I'll top stitch it. Yeah, right? I think it makes a big difference because look at it this way, right now that it's finished, right? So you can see that, see how there's a space here, right? Because it's shaping the shirt, right? So it's basically making a canoe, right? The dart's a canoe. Where this fold line right here, if you were to measure this fold, it is shorter by a lot than where it's laying down. So let's just measure it. Okay. All right, so I already clipped this, but let's try and keep it together while we measure it, and we'll do a rough experiment. So we measure on this fold here, like this, and that's 11 3/4, right? And if we were to measure where it's supposed to lay down, you see how it wants to spread apart? Look at how much it spreads apart. It spreads apart 1/4 inch. Night, Mullen. Right? Yeah, it's 1/4 inch longer. This is 12. So yeah, I don't know. There's no rules, you guys. Okay, let's do some dart or some, oh, we gotta pick, oh shoot, is Julie still here? We gotta pick buttons. Okay, can't believe I forgot to understitch my facing. It's funny. Okay, so, I love this, it kind of has a Hawaiian shirt vibe now. All right, so, let's pick, oh, I can't just, I gotta understitch it now because before we do the buttonholes. All right. So I have, let's zoom out a little bit. I snipped into the back darts this time, Julie. I had already done the front. I didn't snip the back. You darn right I did. Okay. All right, so I did not expect the Hawaiian shirt vibe, and I love it. Okay, so I have these huge buttons, which I just think are a little overkill, right? They're just so cutesy. Oh, I feel like you guys are going to vote for these. They're really big, though. They're too big, I think. Let's straighten this out so that we get the full effect. Right? Okay. I don't want you guys to, you know, struggle to picture it, right? Okay, so. Yeah, it's not really a red either. It's more like, this is an orange machine with pink highlights in it. And this kind of blends the two together, you know. This is more of a red. But I feel like because there's some clear, it can go with it. See there, this is by Pigeon Wishes. So you see how there's some clear stuff, right? It's a different vibe. Right? Yeah, I think that's it, Nancy. Some things that are just too unique are just too unique, you know? So then we're left with the shirt button box. I need to put all these over here so I don't knock them on the ground. All right, so we have, I kind of like the vibe of going gray, you know? So we have gray. Yeah, I think the big buttons make them really easy to use too, Elena. So this is gray, kind of matches the wing, right? We have a slightly darker one. Okay. These don't quite go. The camera was about to jump out of the holder. Okay. We also have for the orange lovers. There's different sizes in these little bins, so I'm just trying to find them. Eliza, did you say that one? I like these orange ones. I also have a yellow. When, let's face it, when am I ever going to use these buttons, the yellow buttons? They really blend in. I'm sort of shocked. I can't believe how well these match. They don't give off a Grello vibe until you put them on this shirt. Yellow is a neutral. It really is. I think the last ones I could try are either like a dark gray, which does have like a bluish tinge to them. These are, oh no, these are the same as this. Never mind, those are the same. Oh, so then I just have like white, right? Classic white. You can't underestimate a good white button on a shirt. It sometimes makes it pop. Okay, you guys, but remember the Becky Homeki rule that we have? Should we do a poll? How many spots can we have in the poll? Okay, so we're gonna do, I think I'm gonna rule out the darker gray. We'll put the lighter bluish gray. Oh, I can only offer 4 options. I don't know which one to get rid of. Okay, we're gonna say we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna narrow it down. Okay. This right here is 1 and 2, okay? 1 or 2, all right? And then this is 3, 4, 5, okay? Oh, sorry. All right. This is the first option, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll narrow it down between those two. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just white. Oh, I forgot yellow. Dang, there's just not enough options. I'm sorry, I forgot the yellow. You can type in yellow. Everyone better participate. No, it'll be like 20 votes. I'm pretty sure. Oh my gosh, could please more people vote so I don't have to do these big flower buttons? 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, or yellow. Replace white with yellow. No one likes the white. All right, we'll replace white with yellow. How's that? White with yellow. So this is number 5 now. 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. This kind of looks shiny under the light. Julie's such a bully when we vote. Oh, you guys are very even right now. It's between these two right now. These two are tied. I'm nervous. You picked the white, sorry, Nancy. Oh my goodness, 5 is pulling ahead. It's a close race. Number 3 coming in second around the bend. Number 4 heading in the last. This is number 4. I'm disappointed in all of you that you are not picking this. I'm just going to say it. This is number 5. I don't know, nobody was voting for white. Like there was 1 vote for white, so that's why I just replaced it. And now people are voting for yellow. That's why I did that, Michelle, sorry. Thank you, Terry. Terry, you are such a kiss ass and I love it. I'm just teasing. Okay, yellow is really, I am really surprised you're picking this one. Okay, that's so interesting. You guys are, is this like a no, you cannot have crazy buttons? Is this you like the yellow? Thanks, Kiskies. Terry. Terry, I got your back too, though. Trust me. Can we lobby the yellow folks to change? You can lobby. Julie's bullying people. Go for it. Lobby. You want to vote for real again? Okay. Do you guys really want to do this again? We have 5 options right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 options with white. All right. How we could do brackets. We could do brackets. Nita, that's kind of steep price there. Requesting revote. Wait, what did Michelle say? It does blend in well when you're ever going to use yellow again. I know. Requesting revote. They want to recount. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, how about this? How about this? Okay, we'll recount right now, and this is how we'll do it. I figured out a way. We'll pick between these 3 first, okay? This is what we'll do. We'll narrow down the oranges, okay? Orange. 1, 2, 3. Flower. Half clear. Small. Orange. I'm typing with just one hand. Okay, ready? Okay, and then we'll pit these against the others, okay? Okay, so again, we're pitting this one against the others. So we have this one, and this one. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Dental three. Yeah, I'm giving it another chance, Terry. All right, 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8. If you want to physically vote, it's in the chat. If you open up the chat, there's usually like little tiny text that says show chat or hide chat. You can show the chat and it should be pinned there. It's a blue poll thing. All right. Now, winning pool. Okay, small oranges win this. You guys had my back on that one. All right. Orange, gray. Yellow, white. Ooh, this is so busy, you guys. Orange. Aren't you glad you don't have to do this? Let strangers pick out your button colors? You could never. I have to type a question. That's why I always write in the thingy. Okay. Let's do this quicker. Orange. Blue, gray. This is your chance, Julie. You have another option, another chance to lobby. All right, and all the white people, white button voters can now choose their white buttons. Okay, here we go. I gotta eat lunch eventually, you guys. Yeah. Sometimes things come out of your mouth, Terry, and you said, do I really say, and you think, why did I say that? Don't let Julie bully you. These are kind of hard to see, actually. Maybe Nancy. Maybe. Oh, you guys are getting bullied by the yellows. I almost said yellow people and I didn't, Terry. The other ones are too bright. You don't even care about what I want. This is your kind of election. Same. But I have seen people get upset over worse, or smaller things. No lobbying by the police center. Exactly. Oh yeah, that is Sure Bear. Hi, Sure Bear. And I also saw someone new, Hilda, speaking too, and Lindsay's here. Now you guys are all talking. I love it. So funny. Okay. Elena's like, what do I want? I think I like the orange and the white the best. But don't let me change your vote. I like them all. I actually really like them all. I wouldn't have shown you ones I didn't like. The flowers were really big in person, you guys. It would have really been like, hey, check out my buttons. Oh yeah, and I made this shirt too. Like, that's how big they are in person. So. All right. Orange and yellow are neck and neck coming around the bin. I think blue and white are out of the race. We have orange coming in. Oh, orange just made a huge jump. It is tied with yellow. They are neck and neck. Who is going to break this tie? Oh my goodness. Mix the colors. Should we do that? My chat couldn't decide what buttons I should put on my shirt, so I just decided to do them all. I mean, I'm really glad I didn't give this option to you because I think you would have picked it, but it does have all 4 colors. It's still tied. 32 votes though. Really good turnout. We are liking this voter turnout. We need to register more voters though. Can I vote? You did, Kira? Oh, sorry. I thought of it and then I totally forgot to like try it, and then I was like, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna start putting these in the bins so that I don't lose anything. These are there. I actually, one time the lid on this thing broke off, and the panic I felt, you guys. Oh my goodness. The panic I felt. It took me so long to get the lid back on, and it was so hard to get back on. I was really worried I was gonna make the whole box spill. Okay. I am too, Blair. I am kind of surprised that I like it too. I think some of the votes may have gotten lost on the internet. We may need a recount. No, it is still tied though. All right, so orange and yellow have 1. Orange and yellow. I feel like the orange is just really good. Let's see. I'll tell you what though, it's easier to find the larger yellow buttons in the bin. Okay, that's the yellow. This makes the machines shine. This makes the machines shine, right? That does too though. I think that blends in really nice. I'm gonna match the background. This is how it begins, Michelle. This is how it begins. This is what's wrong with the world. Shouldn't I clear this with Terry first? Right? I think I'm going to go orange. I think I like the orange a lot. But you know, the lure of using a button color that I probably won't get to use very often is very big, because I'm very practical that way. I'm very practical like that way. I make bad choices because of it. Marilyn's all, yellow's better and nobody can tell me different. Hi, Marilyn. This is the one I wanted in the first place too, so I'm fine with that. I'm just trying to find enough big ones. I don't know why they send you these small ones at all, you know? Okay, so we need one here. We need one up here. I want to put it way up there because I do like buttoning this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we might need 7. All right, so we'll just have those. Okay, now we can shut this little bin and my sanity can stay intact once that is closed. All right, got our buttons. Let's go mark some buttonholes. This is my little routine for collars and cuffs. Oh, yeah, totally, Elena. No, there's a reason they do that, but I wish they didn't. That's all. All right, so I need to edge stitch this though. Shoot. I'm sorry, let me edge stitch this really quick. Or understitch it. Because I don't want this to sneak out. The buttonholes are going to help though. Let's just understitch. I haven't understitched in a while. I love understitching too. Get this thread out of here. Come on. There we go. There's one. You're so team half clear. I think Lindsay's in the pass. I only matched the center front. That's all I matched because I couldn't really figure out what else to match. There's no like other clear, you know, things to match. So it did use a little bit of fabric to do that. Because the pattern, the print repeat was a little huge, and the pattern was a little erratic. The machines kind of jump around in different sizes and stuff, and it was really hard to find like what was the thing. I cut it off camera, but because I didn't know I was going to pattern match, and I remember thinking, oh shoot, this actually could have been a really good thing to cut on camera. I didn't even know I was going to pattern match. But we did all the drafting on camera. But I will just tell you, like, when I do it, I don't do anything like any magic or anything. I cut one out. I pick where I want the machines to line up. I picked this one first. I cut this one out because I wanted the machines to kind of be right there. This is my center, you know, right here. So I sort of tried to center as many machine heads along it. And then I lay this piece on the fabric, lining up all of the print perfectly. And then I lay the other pattern piece on so that the center lines up with this center line. Let me show you. I've got the pattern right here. So, what was that? Oh, it was an empty hanger. So, right, I cut this one out, right? And then this is the center where the collar goes, right? Down there. Or this is my sloper, sorry. It's not the pattern, but you get what I mean. There's the center line. And then so I lay this cut fabric piece down on the fabric, match the print everywhere, and then I line up this same notch to the other one right there, top and bottom. I slip this out, weight that, and I cut it down. I cut it, and that's how I get it perfectly matched. No rocket science involved. That's plaids I'll do a little differently, but prints, like motifs like this, you know, it's a little different. I think that's my plan right there. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that too close together? I hope this is at my full bust. You know what? Here's my full bust right here. Right here. How do we deal with that? We don't want it that close together, but we don't really want it that far apart. I want it like right there. Ugh. Okay, let's see. If I went further, if I were to split this in half and go like right here, is that too far apart? That's 2 less buttons. Yeah, the third one down, exactly. I can tell this is my full bust right here because this is where my darts are. I could probably raise it a little bit. But that's just too close together, you know? So sometimes when I have this, what I do is I cheat. I will just do like the next ones, I'll go like this. And I won't do one right here, right? And then I'm like, okay, cool, here we go. We got all our buttons. And I just don't do this one because I'll never button it up and it just stays open like that. But I do want to button this closed. So the other thing I've done to cheat, I'll just tell you my cheaty things I do, is I will do the spacing different up top and below and no one ever notices. I will do something like here, right? And then we'll just slightly spread them out this way. Let's see, now I still have all 7 on there. But these right here are this far apart, and these are a 1/2 inch further, right? That could work. That could work. What do you think? I'm just breaking all the rules that are imaginary. Oh, did I see? Hi, will this shirt be worn with the Mitchell trousers? Pick the yellow. Oh, I think so. I think that I think they look like they go on camera, but they don't in real life. So, yeah, I think this works. All right, I need a different ruler now, dang it. Let me get my clean ruler over here. I'm getting too hungry for this. So between here and here, we have 7 inches. So if this is the middle between the two, right? 3.5. We need to do this. Where's my phone? Ugh. So when I try and figure out like the spacing here, what I do is I count the number of spaces. So we have 4 buttons, but we have 3 spaces. So I'll take the 7 and divide it by 3. And then you get 2.3 inches in between, which is about what I've got. I've got about, this one needs to come down a little bit. Okay, and then here, 1, 2, 3 again, but we have 9 inches, so that's easy. That's 3 inches apart, and that's my usual button spacing. I don't want to melt my ruler, so I gotta flip it around here. So 9. Like that. All right, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I don't really notice that either. Okay, so my simple and have shirt 6 right now, back to 5 and sewing another. Who knows what happens with it? Yeah, the Simplex, I feel like you either get one that stays the spacing wise too, or you don't. I marked the top of the button. I think I just pinned the ironing board, but I'm just trying to get the pins in, and then we're gonna get rid of the buttons and fiddle around with it. So we're going for 2.3 up to the white button, white pin, and then 3 inches for the others. So it's this one that's pinned and this one. Okay. This we're not going to use at all. All right, and so the other thing I'll do is I'm going to mark the center. So I'm going to mark a line going down the center here. I don't really have my making buttonholes hat on right now, so I'm hoping I do a good job showing you. When I get kind of into it, then I'm like, oh yeah, and this is also what I do, and no, this is what I do. I don't, you know, it's like anything, we don't do it enough sometimes. All right, so now I have my ruler. I'm gonna do this again. So I have a firm surface, and this is just my hero marker. I just like something to follow when my machine is on. But when I have this on my throat plate, I'll line it up to 1/2 inch, and it'll stay nice and straight, and we're gonna do vertical buttonholes. All right, and so now I marked the other side, and I'm kind of old school. I will use chalk sometimes like this, right? But I get nervous with Choco Liner chalk, like hecka nervous with it. So I like to do pins, and I like to poke the pins going this way. And the reason I do that is because I can pull them out really easily when I'm sewing the buttonhole. And I'm pushing my buttonhole against the pin. I'm pressing my button against the pin. And I still need to allow for the thickness of the button. So your buttonhole should be, the way you know how long to make your buttonhole is it should be as long as your button is wide plus the thickness. So you add those two together, and that's the length of your buttonhole. And what I do with these little tiny buttons is I do that while I'm sewing it. I go 1 bar tack past where the end of my marking is, because I know that the bar tack is about the width of the thickness of the button, you know. So I just use it as like a rough guide. A little smaller is better than a little bigger in some ways. But if your buttonholes are too big, you can always make them smaller by closing them with a few stitches. Where if your buttonhole is too small, it may mean resewing it. I lost a pin over here. I knew I had. Okay, so we have 1, 2, this is the white one, and then this one should be 3 inches apart. 1, 2, 3. So it's the top of the button. Okay, not the bottom of the button. I'm double checking. I measure from the top to the top every time. So I'm measuring from here to here. 3. This one's 1/8 of an inch too high. 3. 3. Okay. Full try hard mode. Sometimes it takes so long to do the buttonholes. You could have made a whole other garment. Am I right? Okay. All right. So let's go sew them. Bringing everybody over. Put these back. You go there. I don't need you. We got a mess. Ugh. I'm pretty sure that this machine weighs the same as that Juki I want. So see how I was talking about at the beginning of the stream how the head, there's the needle right here. So there's all this space here. That's why it's so hard for me to film this, but I'll do this. And this today. We'll just improvise. That works, right? Do I use a machine to sew on your buttons? I don't. You know, Adina, I found that it took me just as long. I need my cord. It's stuck on something. So I just continue to hand sew them. It's the one thing I just don't mind hand sewing, you know? All right, we need our spool of thread. I already threaded the bobbin, and if you use a Bernina, you want to thread it through the little arm on the bobbin that sticks up that you've probably have stopped remembering is even there. But it makes a big difference in your sewing of your buttonholes. It looks like this. So this little arm sticking up right here. Just poke the thread right through. Okay, let's put a new needle in, because there's none. I just put a microtex in there. Oh, that's my video is always way behind. Okay. So I spend a lot of time on the marking part because then I can just do the buttonholes one after the other confidently, right? Oh yeah, that's right, the old Kenmores. I don't think, I feel like that seems familiar. All right, I'm very low tech when it comes to my buttonholes. This is why I like the pins sticking out. So I like chalk. I love all that stuff, but I will say that the yellow Choco liner has really failed me. I love everything clover, but the yellow dust in a chocolate liner. I still have white blouses with that yellow dust on it, right? So I like the Crayola Ultra Washable. They're not ultra washable, something like that, ultra washable. Yeah, and I do have a buttonhole foot, which has the, oh, this isn't a buttonhole. Thank you for saying that. It's this one here. I thought that earlier, and I was like, no, that's the buttonhole foot. What else would it be? So the buttonhole foot has these 2 grooves right here. So that's for the, I rarely switch my foot on this machine, but I do for that. I did buy Adina a foot for putting on buttons. And it has this little toe, and you can raise and lower this toe right here with this little screw. So see how it goes up and down? And so then you could raise this toe up really high, sew your button on, and then you have the looseness to weave a shank if you want. So, but I felt like it took as long as hand sewing, so I don't use it. $80 thing to tell me that. It wasn't $80, but it was expensive. So I don't do very fancy button marking because I just found that when I use chalk like this right here, I still sometimes can't see it unless it's really dark and it extends past the sides of my presser foot. The little window in mine, I don't have a clear foot for this. If you have a clear foot, it really helps. Then you could use probably anything. You could just use the Hera marker, but I can't see in that little window, so I really like using the pins. So I also figured out the alignment of my needle to my foot, and it's this little hump back here on the foot. It doesn't look like it, so it's this right here. My needle lines up like right here to this hump on there, which does not look like it. It looks like it's much further forward. And that has helped me be more accurate too, because now I just line my pin up to that little hump. As low tech as that sounds. So I'm looking for this line here on the top buttonhole, lining it up with that. And then I'm also lining this edge up with the 1/2 inch mark on my throat plate. That's the 5/8 mark. Here's the 1/2 inch mark. Because the buttonhole, it needs to go on either side of your center line. So it's really easy to get that kind of in the wrong place, you know. Try sewing a button on again. I use double-faced sewing tape to keep my button in place. What do you mean try sewing on a button on? No, I really like the shank though. I won't let go of the shank. I really like having that hand-woven shank because, I don't know, I just really like it. You need that space for the garment. So that's where I felt like machine sewing them took longer. All right, so this is, I feel like it's supposed to be right here. Oh yeah, that's the line I want on the throat plate. I'm not used to this throat plate. All right, so we're gonna line up the top, which will be the pin in the next ones, to the hump. The center, I'm lining up the edge of my garment to the throat plate, and we're trusting that. We trust this. If you keep this edge here, this is so key and it will make a huge difference, and it's so simple. Keep the edge of your garment lined up to the exact same place on your throat plate. Put washi tape there, like sometimes I do that. Oh, here's a piece of washi tape. Oh wait, can I get this off here? It's too old. Give me a piece of tape, please. Oh, here's a piece, here's a piece. I always have a piece of washi tape. Just like this, like, easy, this paper tape, you know? I have my foot on the wrong pedal. Go like that, and then, oh, it's getting kind of old though. Let's see if we can get a big piece off. Did you guys ever play this game? Neko Atsume. Okay, so we're gonna line it up. And I do a really long strip. Oh yeah, this tape's getting kind of old. And I'm losing my pins now. Darn it. But I'll show you, it makes a big difference if you have trouble getting wibbly wobbly or it's not hard to get wibbly wobbly buttonholes, right? So, and you want to prevent that. I will line it up and I try and go straight all the way down. Go far. Give yourself a really long thing. Yeah, that's true, Terry. Yeah. Yeah, and it will pull on your, like it pulls the button down and can rip off. All right. Let's see how my first one goes. I'm going to back it up a tiny bit. Oh, I don't have the buttonhole stitch on. That's what's wrong. Let's do that. I'm just going to pull this out. Oh, I broke the cutter off my machine the other day. It went flying and I haven't seen it since. Like that little cutter that sits right here. It just popped off. I don't know what happened to it. All right. All right, my garment is lined up here. My little thing there is lined up to the top of the buttonhole. Hold the shirt so it doesn't pull on the machine or put it on the table. And then go. All right, so now I'm coming to the end. Here's my other line right here. And I'm gonna go like one bar tack width past it. And then I go back. Did I press that? No. I can see my line coming up. There we go. There it is. I almost missed it. So I'll pull it forward a little bit to get it lined up better so that my bar tack lines up. First one's always funky, right? So I usually start at the bottom of the shirt and go up. Okay. Yeah, that yellow chalk has done me dirty. Maybe they've changed it. All right, and so when I pull, I don't cut my threads. I pull past the buttonhole so that they're not tight between. And then I also keep them out of the way. You can cut them if you want. I just don't. All right, so then again, pin goes to the foot, edge of the shirt goes to the tape. I pull out the pin and I put it, usually I do this before I start, by the way. I put my pins right on the edge here. Yeah, at the starting of the bottom of the shirt or the buttonhole. Yeah, so like I'll flip the shirt over and do that. Exactly. Because I feel like if the bad buttonhole's at the bottom, I'm not as mad. I usually do move all these pins though, like right to the edge. I'm telling you, I'm very low tech. I've tried a lot of high tech things. I did a whole button SBS, like skill building session, and it's very in-depth, but I still this is really like how I like to do it, and I think you just pick what works for you. And the Simflex, like I hear lots of mixed results. Like some people are like, my Simflex is just like loosey-goosey, or it's not evenly spaced, so, you know, it doesn't work for everybody. You don't want the pin to interrupt the foot, so I move it right here on the edge there like that. machine automatically does that little slow stitch at the end. It's kind of calming. Uh-oh, losing my pin right there. Eh. Eh. We almost went a little too far. See you, Kira. Thanks for coming. Yeah, this is good content, isn't it? I'm never going to win prizes for my buttonholes, I tell you what. I'm more of a, let's get this done in a fairly acceptable way. I didn't make my thread slack and I could feel it pulling under my finger. Okay. It's been a while since I did buttonholes. I could see really nicely, so that's why I could take the pins out as I went. All right. Yeah, right, Terry, exactly. Okay, and then here they go. That was pretty good. That one's a little crooked. See how the stitch though, that way it gets that nice like curve. That's that arm on the bobbin case doing that, making it look good. See, another thing, this top buttonhole with the blue chalk, the buttonhole is tinged with that blue chalk. So yeah. So I usually go through and I'll trim all these threads on one side, then I go and do it on the other side. I'll sew one button on, but then I'm going to eat lunch. People are going to be like, oh, I thought this was going to be a quick sew, but look at her video is, what is it, 3 hours long now? They won't want to watch. Okay. This one looks a little short right here, so we won't cut that one. We'll cut, yeah, we'll cut one of these down here. All right, and when I cut my buttonholes, I do the unthinkable. I use my seam ripper, and I start, and then I poke it to the other side. I do a little bit more. I poke the blade through, and I cut. That's all. All right, and then this is something not enough people do this. You don't need glue. Just get rid of all this thread here. Get rid of all these little fibers. Cut them, and now there's nothing left to unravel. You don't need glue, okay? You've already zigzagged the heck out of that little opening, so you don't really need the glue anymore. But if you like glue, use it if you like. I just have never used it before, so I guess it's not something I feel as like aligned to, you know, but there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think you need it if you're feeling like, I always forget to use the glue. Don't worry about it. Okay, so let's line this up like this. Where's the one I cut? Here it is, right here. We always line the button up to the top of the buttonhole. So I'm just gonna check this before I sew it on. If it's lined up and matching the print. That'll work. Okay. And we need some orange thread. I think this might work right here. It's kind of got a orangey red hue to it. And this is what I'll probably be doing tonight or this weekend, most likely this weekend. All right, and this is how I sew my button on, because I like to weave a shank. It's one of the, like, I know you saw me cut a lot of corners in sewing this and stuff, and I do cut a lot of corners, and I don't do everything, you know, certain ways. This is one thing I do kind of over the top, I feel like. All right, so I'm going to, oh, so this is how I thread my needle, by the way. I put 2 strands in there, and I put the 2 cut ends through the eye. So I have a loop down here. See? There's a loop, right? So then I'm going to sew only in a parallel start. Although this is a 4-hole buttonhole, that doesn't really matter as much. Actually, we're going to go just below this pin like this. And now I go through here, and I don't have to tie a knot. So now there we go. It's nice and flat too. Is this gonna be too dark? No, it'll be fine. All right, and then I just start sewing my button. I'm gonna do 2 parallel. Oh, you can't see me. See ya, Karen. Sorry. You want me to do that over again? I can. Let me do that little loopy thing I did. See if I can do it without having to unthread my needle. All right, so when I thread my needle, I double it up, but I put the 2 cut ends through the eye, and I fold them back, right? And then I have a loop at the bottom there, right? And then, shoot, was this where I was sewing right here? So then I go into the fabric, pull all the way, and then when I get to this loop, then I just go through it like a slip knot. Like that. And then you don't have to cut or tie a knot, right? So here's my button. This is in the button SBS 2 Ray. So this kind of takes a knack. I have this finger under here holding it, and I have these 2 holding the button. And I sort of hold the button like this above, but I put this finger underneath for some stability. I know someone said, oh, I started just imitating your hands and that helps. And so I just try and tell you what each one's doing, because you might find it more awkward to do it this way than I do. So then I'm going to make 2 parallel rows of stitches. These 2 holes and these 2 holes. You could do an X too if you want. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to mimic, I'm going to go to the side of this, kind of center over this little slip I did, right? Because that's where the center of the button needs to be. And I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to do a few passes. Now, before you do your next one, make sure you have some space. See how this is a loose button like this? So I try and keep just like a little bit of a space under there. And if you like, you can do things like add a spacer. Like people will actually put something under there to hold it up. And that's why I was showing that toe on that one foot. It holds the thread up above the button. I'm holding the button up, but you can hold the thread. Hand sewing. You still can't see my hands? I think you can. I think it's just in the past. All right, so we're going to do a few. I used to have an office next to these Hmong women who did all this hand sewing for this company in the building. And they would have done 8 strands of thread and done 1 pass on this button. That's how they do a lot of their hand sewing, to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time. They put many, many strands in their needle. So now I'm doing the other side, by the way. We'll just do 2 more. I'm doing like 3 or 4 passes. That's plenty because we have double thread. And again, I'm keeping it loose. See, I'm kind of trying to keep it loose. That's really the tricky part. So just make sure you kind of pick it up, snug it a little bit occasionally, because you don't want a weird loop in there, and that happens. I get those all the time. All right, so now here we are. Okay, and this is the fun part. So this is what it looks like. Back here, it's loose, all right? And now we're going to make a figure 8, and this is the center of the 8. And so we're going to lump these one side together. So I'm going around this bottom one. Here's the bottom 8. I'm not going to pull very tight right now. And I'm going to go around the top and do this one. That's the top 8. And now hold the button, pull it kind of snug, and I just keep doing this. So basically I just go straight up the middle. And if you kept your stitches so that you had these 2 holes together and these 2 holes together, you'll have a very clear space where you can go straight up the middle to do your figure 8. And I scrape the back of the button, not scrape, but like I just slide the needle against the back of the button to do this. Sometimes I get lost. I'm like, did I do a bottom 8 or a top 8 just now? And I just do it until it feels like, it starts feeling kind of firm. You can see it's kind of firm, and it looks really nice back here. It looks like 2, can you see? Looks like 2 columns kind of snugged up together. Can't really brighten that up, can I? And then once I have that pretty good, like right now I'm pretty much done, I think. And by the way, it looks like this on the back side. Sometimes I go all the way through and sometimes I don't, depending on what the project is. This one I'll go all the way through to kind of secure the facing to the garment. It's kind of a double duty. So now I'm just going to go, so if this was a really tall button, like you had a really thick jacket and you were doing this for the buttons and it had to sit way high up. Oh, I actually have the jacket to show you for this. Like this one here. Okay, so this is my tamarack jacket. And look at the space underneath. Because it's a really thick jacket. Look at that one. See the spacing? You can see the ridge under there. It's a 6-hole button, but I only did 2 holes. Because this would splay out the buttonhole. Like the buttonhole should sit like this and it would do this if it had to go through 6 holes. So I just did that, right? And then now my jacket fits behind here. So if you have to do that really tall button, sometimes your needle is right here against the button and you need to get your needle down to the bottom. And you can just go through the middle of the shank that you created, you know, like right here, and sew your way down. I don't have to on this, it's not tall, that tall. All right, and so now I'm just going to do a couple of passes underneath here and knot it. This is where I'm not very elegant about this. So I'll just make a traditional little knot here. I kind of look and see where my needle is just in case so I don't do something visible, because I've done that before, especially with this thread. And now, this is my last little thing I do. I'm going to slip this into the fabric here, between the layers. Okay, I can't see it on either side, right? And then I'm going to poke it out here, just anywhere. Okay. I put my scissors against the shirt, give it a little tug, make sure I don't cut the shirt, cut the threads and they get sucked back in there. And then there's no cut ends or tail, it's inside the shirt. So, oh, I am terrible really at hand sewing. This is the only thing I can do. And sometimes I'll get like a little tiny loop right on top of the button and I get so mad because it's usually someone else's shirt and I'm in a hurry, it's a gift. So this contrast thread, you know, it really shows up here. I'm not too happy with this right here, but that's okay, right? Okay, and so then let's button it up. There we go. All right, and see I have the button at the top of the buttonhole. but it could slide if it needed to, right? There we go. I didn't, on the coat, I don't think I did. I just used regular thread, but you could. I'm hungry. Yeah, and I just think like Terry said, you know, see, look at how my button, and when it's buttoned, see there, there's perfect space for the shirt. I feel like this ruins you once you realize, oh yeah, all my buttons, they're doing this, they're pulling down, you know, and it pulls your shirt up like that. So this one's centered right in the middle of a machine. Yeah, I'm excited this blouse is done. I've been really looking forward to this one. I'm going to try and I'm going to take this stitch out, and I'm going to edge stitch or understitch my collar facing since I forgot to do that. But look at my sewing machine's right side up. Right side up. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. I'm hungry. Yeah, it's rustic. We like rustic. Yeah, I like the orange buttons a lot. I feel like I manipulated you all to get my way, and I have no regrets at all. Yeah, there is incentive to doing everything on camera because it's done when I get done. I'm looking forward to the button being right there, right at the top. This line of blue, by the way, it's the thread on this machine, and I kept thinking it was my my marking. It was very confusing. Thanks, Ray. Yeah, you never knew it was coming, did you? Cool. All right, you guys. Well, Saturday I'm making a tool case, something completely different. And I'm going to customize it to fit all these little tools I'm bringing to Sew Expo. So if you want to come by, hang out, and sew something with me, maybe I'll see you Saturday. Thanks for coming. I really loved this project. I love the drafting and I love the sewing. And I really appreciate all the feedback, suggestions, tips, voting. And maybe I'll see you Saturday. If not, I won't see you till March, unless you're taking one of my classes. So, all right. See you guys soon. Where's my thingy there? There it is. Bye.